Edward Simpson as Head of Government Affairs at the Finance and Leasing Association in the UK. I understand you just hosted events at the Labour and Conservative Party conferences on the future of consumer credit regulation in the UK. Could you tell me more about those events?
Absolutely. Consumer credit regulation transferred to the new Financial Conduct Authority on the 1st of April this year. But at the same time, the Consumer Credit Act, which has been the main piece of legislation for the last 40 years, remained in place. The FCA committed to reviewing the Consumer Credit Act by 2019, in other words, looking at which provisions it could carry across to the new regime, which might be repealed or withdrawn, and which might be modified. We organised events at the Labour and Conservative Party conferences at which we invited parliamentarians, the regulator themselves, to hear from consumer experts and our own members, particularly around changes in technology and also evolving consumer behaviour. I'd like to share some lessons that we learned from that. First of all, the regulator should embrace technology. They've already made a good start with their project Innovate, but we think that they should have a chief technology officer supported by a team of technology experts so that they can understand the environment we live in. Some FLA members, for example, offer loans only online, and even those who use more traditional distribution channels are already embracing change. So we've got very much a changing environment. The next challenge is smarter disclosure. Many information requirements, some of which come from the European Union, like the Consumer Credit Directive, were designed for a face-to-face environment. So, for example, we believe that 40 to 50 pages of terms and conditions don't really work where people are taking loans out on smartphones or tablets. I think this is an area that needs urgent review. The security of data is also an important consideration. For example, firewalls on smartphones aren't up to the same level as those on PCs and laptops. And finally, in terms of changing consumer behaviour, I think we need to have a reconsideration of what motivates consumers. I was at a very interesting conference organised by the European Commission yesterday on retail financial services and consumer policy, and one of the themes there was behavioural economics, and this is about understanding what motivates consumers in order to design a more appropriate regulatory regime.